Hi guys, today we'll talk about what happens when we accumulate sexual energy, when we retain semen. Many young guys have problems. They worry because they can't interact with the opposite sex, with women. Many guys have complexes. Yes, overall, this is not just a problem for guys, but also for girls. It's like a gender issues in the modern world. This applies to both men and women. Guys, I went through this myself when I was between 20 and 35 years old. I had problems in interacting with women. Many people develop complexes and problems because of this. Many guys find it hard to admit to their friends that they are virgins. And you constantly fear that you'll remain a virgin. This fear makes you go and socialize with girls or hang out somewhere. But some sort of block activates in your mind and freezes you at the most crucial moment of interacting with the sexual ladies. I had so many situations when a very attractive women were available to me, but some block inside me kicked in and everything fell apart. And it seemed like the world stopped and life lost all meaning. And there was no longer a possibility to establish relationships with those ladies. So I decided to attend various pickup courses on how to pick up women. I tried various neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and other practices. But I came to the conclusion that these practices can help you if you have minor communication issues with women. But if you have serious complexes in communicating with women, these practices did not work. Even communicating with prostitutes did not help. In our country, there are no problems with prostitutes. And in general, the availability of the female gender is much higher than, for example, in the USA. Many female students work as prostitutes. There are many visitors from neighborhood countries. The sexual market is oversaturated, but this still does not solve your task with the female gender. Because you want to find a woman who sexually arouses you, and this sexual interaction must be mutual, so that there is mutual attraction. Even if everything seemed fine and you found such a woman, I could not maintain the balance of importance for long. I either overestimated her or ignored it, and both used to lead to a breakup. Something inside would trigger some kind of defense mechanism, and you would freeze up, like a panic attack. But there is one important detail. It only happened with women I liked. If you weren't particularly into a woman, there would be no freezing up. So I came to the conclusion that I needed to desexualize my consciousness. Eventually this helped me in communicating with sexually attractive women. Basically, when a woman sexually excites you a lot, you need to ignore that woman until she becomes available to you. You can even bring her to the point where she starts complimenting you or even jumps on you at the right moment. Because there is one important detail. Beautiful women are aroused by unattainable men, but this approach does not work with simple girls. For example, if you ignore a simple girl, she'll get offended and think that she is not worthy of your attention. Therefore, it's necessary to categorize women based on their level of sexuality, so to speak. So, the higher the class of a woman, the more you should ignore them. Well, that's it in a nutshell. In short, it all begins with desexualizing your consciousness. Because women see men as sexually aroused dogs who constantly drool and something's dripping from his male organ. And that's how men are, especially from age 20 to 40. You constantly feel sexual tension and pressure in the groin area. And men are constantly thinking about the vagina. There is a saying in Russian that a man thinks not with his head, but with his male member. And your sexual energy is not being spent. It stays within you, and you don't have much choice. Either you use manual stimulation, or you go somewhere where there is an opportunity to interact with female sex. And this is certainly not an easy matter, especially when you are not very liberated. And for many people it is problematic. Sexual energy needs to be somehow realized, but there is no opportunity for that. So what we have here is either watching pornography or delving into some virtual world that you create for yourself. You construct certain sexual images, then project your energy onto them, and it brings worry emptiness and depletion into your life. You yearn for a real woman, but she is not there in reality. There is neither woman nor sexual energy because you have exhausted it. Yes, so guys, sexual energy, you are just releasing it nowhere. You are flushing it down the toilet. So guys, here is the thing. Imagine how it works. I'll try to explain it with simple examples. Let's say a river flows, and you put a dam on this river. A huge potential accumulates, and then you can simply connect an electric generator, and it will generate electricity from the accumulated huge water potential. Moreover, when this water accumulates to critical values, it becomes like a powerful source of energy. If the dam bursts, it can destroy an entire city. Similarly, here guys, when we accumulate energy, maintaining semen is like putting a dam as if you preserve this energy. A dam forms in your body, and you, as it were, preserve this energy. It accumulates in you. And there are certain techniques on how to avoid these relapses, semen losses. Then, when a large energy potential is formed, this potential needs to be directed somewhere. Because sexual energy manifests on a psychological level, this potential begins to reinforce the beliefs you currently have in your consciousness. For example, if you want to achieve certain results, this accumulated energy will allow you to strengthen your aspiration. And if you think of yourself as a failure, as a loser, it will also intensify. So, abstinence acts as a catalyst. It amplifies both positive and negative aspects. This should be understood. So guys, when you're on semen retention, you need to carefully monitor your inner state. What enters your consciousness? It's more of a psychological and spiritual work than any physical work. So the primary task is to preserve the accumulated sexual energy and not waste it, and desexualize your consciousness, and then work on where your attention goes. When you gain strength, you can calmly watch any content, including sexual content, without it throwing you off balance. But guys, at the initial stage when you are practicing semen retention, at least for the first year or two, completely avoid sexual content. This is the initial stage that forms your strength, your mental strength. It is like, as I mentioned earlier, pouring concrete into a formwork. You are pouring the foundation of your future consciousness. At first, everything is fragile, not solid yet, because the concrete has not set yet. But when it will harden and become very strong, as long as your mental attitudes are not strong enough, they are shaky, easily influenced by sexual images. So to start with, you must set beliefs, goals and objectives for yourself to follow. Later on, you will become as strong as a rock, and nothing will be able to affect you guys. Well, at first, you must help your consciousness form your mental attitude, the state of your consciousness. Many young guys get very upset because they cannot find a life partner. Their acquaintances, friends, everyone already has wives, mistresses. And of course, guys, this is disappointing, and you start feeling somehow inadequate, like an outcast. But guys, life does not end in your youth. I have many acquaintances who started families after 40. Moreover, many young women look for older husbands. I have many friends whose wives are 20 years younger. They have normal families, children, they live well, everything is great for them. And then, with the age and experience, it becomes easier to interact with young ladies, because you understand how to behave with them, what mistakes to avoid, because ignoring also needs to be done correctly. In general, all of this comes with the experience. Guys, understand such important point, that semen retention is not about just simply enjoying life. No, it's self-improvement, because when you have potential, if you don't direct it somewhere, it will reinforce both positive and negative aspects. Because this powerful energy will amplify exactly what your consciousness is focused on. Sexual dependence devalues you in the eyes of women. You become a sexually obsessed dog to her. But when you distance yourself from a woman, it drives her crazy. some kind of pattern break occurs, and even super beautiful women get lost in such a situation. Your strong potential pulls them like a magnet, if of course you maintain your independence. The trick is that you are independent of sexual energy, or at least appear independent in the eyes of women. If you don't pursue her, she thinks you have someone else, so she thinks she is not needed by you. This gives you a mysterious aura in her eyes. So she wants to make you chase after her. If you can create a sexual field around you, then women will become more accessible to you. This throws them off balance, but you should at least look decent. Go to the gym and maintain your physical shape. It's crucial, otherwise you won't notice a significant effect and may say that abstaining does not work. In other words, you will become more attractive and women will compliment you. And then where it leads is up to you. Either retain your semen and focus on self-improvement, or find a woman and live with her, but that's a different story, certainly. In general, semen retention is very engaging. And when you have strength and independence, sometimes there may no longer be a need for any communication with women at all, because you don't want any problems. And where there are women, there are always problems. My friend married late. Moreover, he married and the father of his wife was his peer. The girl was enough sexy, of course. He was earning money and his young wife was staying at home with the child. And she constantly called him and nagged him about various trivial matters. He worked as a coach in our sport club, and women also trained in our club. And his wife made scenes of jealousy because of that, because of his communicating with women in our club. Because young girls are sitting on smartphones and social networks. She's at home with nothing to do, and she starts inventing problems even where there are no one. In short, she annoyed him so much that he divorced her and took his son. And that girl found herself a man even older than him, without accommodation or income. Unfortunately, not all modern ladies are suitable for relationships. He used to come home tired after work, and she did not even cook for him. So he cooked for himself, because she could not cook. She said she was raising the child, and that was her duty. In short, it's a complete mess. Do you need that, guys? Well, decide for yourself what you want from life. Okay, that's my message for today. Good luck to everyone. Take care of yourself. Thank God. Bye.